Well, that was fun and quite impressive. Nice job. Thank you.
Your image came over really good here, so I got to come up with a different. I didn't realize the template was going to come over with it. I need to make a template specifically for responding. That's the beacon template.
This is Bill, K6KRQ. Everybody can see it on YouTube, too.
All right, well, 2 minutes to net, so I'm going to disable it because we don't need it. It won't. It actually shouldn't respond without the 1750 tone, but since we occasionally send a tone to make sure that we're working, I'm going to disable the repeater.
I'm hoping that Stuart testing that out is the result of the shameless plug I gave for your system, and I gave you the ink for it too. I did it on the River City Net.
Excuse me, your plug was shamelessly shameless.
I wish I would have heard it. All right. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to check in. I was like right in the middle of a bunch of stuff, getting this set up, and I was trying to figure out some weird response I was getting on VNA and some test equipment that I was working with. So, all right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just I just doing this for the group and for anybody new who wants to test their system out. So there's some feedback.
No, it's a great adjunct, I'll call it, to the net. Great thing, that. So for Stuart, I guess like my shamelessness shamelessly worked.
I'll shamelessly say that it was shameless, shamelessly shameless, in a shameless way.
Yeah, but this is like a killer feature that George set up, so somebody can, they don't sit there on pins and needles, like waiting till it's their turn, and then suddenly it doesn't work.
That was the reason for it, because sometimes, when people are learning and then they want to test it, they only get like one shot during the net to test it, and if it doesn't work, then, they got to wait, and it's, So I figure it's better for them to test their system before the net, make sure it works.
Well said. It's a great idea. All right, I'm going to start here in about a minute.
I'll stand by. N6YG.
Less than a minute, actually, so here we go. Good evening. This is Bill, K6KRQ, your net control operator for the River City ARCS Slow Scan TV Net. And we are back on YouTube again tonight, so hopefully we didn't lose any of our audience. Hopefully they'll check in and they'll see that we're here. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.3 megahertz. River City ARCS members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break, break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing. Before I start calling for names, I want to welcome home Carol. I'm sure she's with us. I mean, I can see YouTube working, so she's with us. So if you're there, Carol, would you like to be the first to check in?
Okay, yeah, let's see if this works. KP4MD, Carol Citrusite's checking in. Well, I'm glad to be back.
All right, very good. Carol, good to have you. Hopefully, like I said, we'll get our YouTube viewers back watching. So any other station who wants to check in, please come now.
November 6 Yankee Golf, George and Lincoln.
November 6 Hotel Alpha, Bill and Roseville.
November 6, Delta Victor Mike, Stewart and Thomas.
Okay, and I got myself K6KRQ. We'll get started. I'll go back and see if anybody else wants to check in. You know, I mentioned before, but I think everybody here knows how to work it already. George, N6YG's little test protocol for a half hour before the net. So I'm sure we'll have other opportunity to talk about it, or we'll get somebody we can tell it to. So that being what it is, I'm going to give Carol first shot tonight if she's ready to go. Maybe we'll get something from her trip. Are you ready to go, Carol?
Yeah, certainly. I've got a picture PD120. I'll send it right now. KP4MD.
Very good. Your first picture back to the slow scan net is a good copy here in the Thomas. We're going to go to George for first comment on this picture. So go on ahead, George.
Looks like someone's working digital modes on their laptop there, I think. And I'm wondering if this is maybe a relative. I'm not going to take a whole lot of guess. Picture came over great. Just a few pixel pops from Beal. But other than that, that picture came over fantastic. N6YG.
All right, very good. Thank you, George. I can't figure out what program the child's running either. Let's see if Bill, N6HA, has any input to that.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome back, Carol. You're well missed, so we appreciate you running the YouTube and being back with good photos. So yeah, a good copy here. A few pixel pops, not too many. Looks like a young person on a laptop. On the right-hand side of the screen looks like the Arduino IDE for working with Arduino products. And the left looks like a tutorial on YouTube to probably how to set it up or figure out what they're debugging. I can see on the left-hand side of the laptop it looks like a breadboard. It kind of looks like a breadboard with the wires coming out of it. And I can't see the Arduino there on the breadboard, but I'm going to assume it's over there somewhere. So that's my guess. I wonder if they're doing the default blinky LED or if this is something a little more complicated. N6HA.
Man, how detective-like. You would think that you took this picture. That's pretty good. Before I go to Carol, you got anything to say about it, Stuart?
First, I'm losing my voice, sorry. Carol, welcome back. I'm echo everyone's missing you. Thank you for being back. Nothing more to add, really. I'm actually most interested in what the gray rectangular or squarish device is in the upper left-hand corner. I'm not sure why, but I'm asking. That's it. N6TVN.
Go ahead, George.
Yeah, absolutely right, Bill. I actually had to click the zoom button to get a slightly larger picture, and sure enough, that's exactly what that looks like.
All right, well, let's have Carol tell us about her photo here. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, thank you. Bill, you got it right immediately. This is my grandson, Roman, Kilo, Quebec 4, Oscar Hotel Romeo. And we were working on an Arduino starter kit that I sent to him. We were working on it together. And he had the IDE there open on the right hand of the screen. And on the left hand side, there's a tutorial by this guy. His channel name is Time for Dylan. He did a really good job on going through all of the different exercises in this particular the Elegoo most complete starter kit for the Arduino R3. And yes, that is a breadboard that he was putting together. I believe this particular exercise was activating the active buzzer. The Arduino, I don't know if you could actually see a little piece of it there. Maybe, yeah, maybe there's a piece of it that's on the close side of the breadboard. But he was very intent on doing this, and after he got it working, he actually did some modification of the code to do things that he wanted to do. So he had never ever coded before in his life, and he was quite enjoying it and quite intent on getting through this. He did a number of different projects. One of them was the using the ultrasonic detector to make it work like a radar with the servo motor scanning back and forth and giving a like a radar display on the computer screen. So he's got quite a few more activities you can do with that. So he was really, really happy with this. Back to Nets. KP for MD.
All right, thanks for that, Carol. Maybe that ought to motivate me. I have a big Arduino kit. I just haven't messed with it too much yet, but I plan on doing that. That was kind of like rainy day stuff. All right, let's take it to George now. Let's see what George might have cooked up for us tonight. Go ahead if you are ready, George.
All right, well, I'm going to send this PD120 N6YG.
All right, man, that one came through really good, except the bad luck of the draw getting that identifier through it. That was the only thing that hurt it on my end. Let's start with Carol for commentary on this one. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, this is KP4MD. Really got a nice picture on this. I see, yeah, the ID bar through the bottom quarter of it, I think. It may be only about 1 pixel pop that I kind of see over the that dial on the right side. This is a Heathkit FM deviation meter. I remember seeing one of these probably in a swap meet, but it's a good analog tool to measure set your deviation on your FM transmitter, so that you're not over deviating and that you're modulating at an optimal percentage there for the the service that you're operating in. I guess I don't know if you actually have one of these, George, but that's it's really cool. You know, I did the same thing, just using one of these RTL SDRs and feeding the output of it into a digital scope program on my PC, and it worked pretty well as well. But yeah, this is what we used to use in the old days. Probably got tubes inside there. That's what I'm guessing. Back over to Net Control. It's KP4MD.
Thanks for that, Carol. Let's go to Stuart, N6DVM, and see what he's got to say about it.
Well, I can't add much from what Carol said. I don't know much about this. I have a question, and that is how, if this is used to evaluate deviation on a transceiver, how do you calibrate the deviation meter? What's used to make sure that it's accurate? N6DVM.
Keep that question in mind, George. I'm going to ask Bill if he's got anything to say before we go to you for an explanation. You got anything there for this, Bill?
Yeah, no, I've seen these before. I'm not sure how useful they are in the modern age. I hear most radios usually spot on. There are some hidden menus on some like Kenwood radios that you can actually go in and adjust FM deviation, which I dare not touch. But I also want to know the answer to Stuart's question, because I know a man with a watch knows the time, and a man with two watches doesn't know what time it is. So it's be interesting to see how you calibrate the calibration. N6HA.
Thanks, Bill. Before we go to George, I just want to know if, you know, I remember these kits, these Heath kits when I was young, but I wasn't into that scene yet. Were they all like home-built kits? I'm just curious. I found that, you know, through the years working on the job, guys that got into, whether it be the technology or onto a machine when it first rolled out, people that get in on the ground level of things tend to be the most hipster of people when as things go on. So, yeah, is this like, are all these kits or what have you? Go ahead, George.
One of the neat thing about Heathkit is that if you download the manual, they actually have calibration instructions there. I definitely don't need this. It's one of the pieces of equipment from Heathkit that I've always wanted. There are several pieces of equipment that they sell that are extremely useful even to this day. They make a total harmonic distortion meter, or called the harmonic distortion analyzer, IM5228. And then they make an IMD analyzer, and it's 5248 is the model number for those, and those still get quite a high price on eBay and sites because they're very accurate, amazingly so, considering that they're 1980s pieces of equipment. This one, I've used one of these IM4180s before and was absolutely stunned at how accurate and easy it was to use. Even though it looks like it's analog, it's bang on. I have an Agilent, I have a calibrated Agilent service monitor, and it does that too. I mean, I can check deviation and total harmonic distortion and everything. It's a little more complex to do with that, getting it set up and, you know, and all the getting into that mode. You got to go into that mode, reset. And this is just a standalone piece of equipment. You know, that's kind of where they went. In the early days, they had standalone pieces of equipment for this sort of thing, and then they started building the big service monitors that would do it all. The problem is the service monitor is a laboratory-grade piece of equipment. It's big, and it weighs, you know, it probably weighs close to 70 pounds, and it just takes up a lot of room and so on. I actually just want to set up a vintage Heathkit station with this equipment, and it's just fun to use and show people. So, and this piece right here, I've been after one of these for a long time. I've looked at a lot of them, and this one just popped up. And it's from an electronics hoarder. The guy's dad was a ham radio operator, and he bought it built from Heathkit. He didn't build it himself. It was offered in two modes. I think it was $150 a kit, $250 built. He bought the built kit, never even put the battery in it. It was still in the box. And so the guy opened it up, took pictures of the inside for me, and this thing is just immaculate. And and I got it for $50. Plus $16 shipping, and they normally sell for about $150. So that's the story with those. Back to net, N6YG.
Yeah, those are pretty interesting. I wish I was in on that scene when back then. So anyway, that said, we're going to go to Bill, N6HA now, and see what he might have for us today. Are you ready, Bill?
Yep, I'm ready. It's going to be PD 120 and 6HA.
lucky identifier again on an otherwise colorful and interesting picture. I'm going to send it to George, N6YG, first for comment. This is Bill, K6KRQ, for Wednesday's SSTV Net. Go ahead, George.
I think I'm smoking the wrong stuff to look at this picture. It looks like there's two pictures seamed together here. The one on the left looks like Walt Disney threw up. I'm not sure what I'm seeing there. It looks like a dance floor. You're going to definitely have to tell me about this. But the picture came over great. I got a little line across the bottom. I'm not sure if I'm seeing a reflection in the roof. This is someplace you went on vacation. It looks like you're walking in. Don't forget the ice. It looks like you're walking into a refrigerator at a convenience store or something like that. I'm going to let. I'm sorry. Trying to take a closer look here. I'm going to let Bill tell us what it's about. N6YG back to net.
All right, before we go to Bill, we're going to see what Carol has to say about it. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, why do you give me the tough ones? Gee, don't forget the ice, and you open up that and you go into this psychedelic place. I have no idea what this is. But looks like a lot of fun. Back over to Nets. KP. I just want to say, yeah, we've got the ID bar there in the bottom 1/4 or something, and it looks like a kind of a low resolution picture, especially the one on the right side. Not very well in focus. Back to Nets. KP from D.
Thanks, Carol. I will say this is in the running for one of the more bizarre pictures we've had up. So before we go to Bill, let's see if because there's only a few of us, that's why I'm doing it this way. Let's see if Stuart's got some input for it. I'm sure he's got something.
Oh, sure, you can count on me. Yeah, split screen. When this first began to render, I was hoping this was a political statement with the don't forget the ice, but sadly it's not. It looks like this guy is going into a fake cooler, and I'm going to guess there's some secret room behind it in the back. This looks like some kind of experience. It's an indoor exhibit. You can see the lights on the roof up on top. I used to actually, when I was in college, I worked as a carpenter, and I built exhibits like this. Not exactly like this, but similar. I'm going to guess this is a place that Bill took his kids. I don't know where it is. I'm going to guess maybe it's Disney, but maybe too crazy for Disney. Maybe it's in Las Vegas. It looks like fun, and I want to hear more about it. N6TV.
All right, Bill, you're going to have to tell us because I haven't the slightest clue where this is, what it is, or where it might be. So go ahead and tell us all about it.
Yeah, Stuart's very close. I figured this would be a head scratcher, but it's very hard to convey exactly what it is. But it was a lot of fun. So this is a place called Omega Mart, like Alpha and Omega Mart, and it's in Vegas. It's part of this art exposition you could go to, ran by Mal Wolf. Meow like the cat, wolf like the wolf. And it's called Omega Mart. So you start out in a shopping center that looks kind of normal. You could buy everything on the shelves, but it gets increasingly weirder, the kind of things you could get. Like you could get a piece of chicken that's tattooed. It's a plushie. There's avocados that have zippers in them. They kind of have a space continuum problem. So eventually you could realize that you could get to the back area of Omega Mart, and it opens up to this huge area that's multi-stories. There's a whole storyline involved. On the right-hand side there, where it looks very psychedelic, that's the village that you go to visit. Some people are impacted by this space continuum issue. So it's a whole art exhibit. There's a lot of things to see. It takes maybe about 3 hours in total to go through it all and enjoy it. Maybe allocate 4 hours even. We were there for 2. We rushed through it a little bit, but we had a lot of fun. So if you're in Vegas, I would definitely give this a shot to go visit. It's quite the thing to enjoy, and the whole area around it is nice. There's a lot of art and other things to do. That's free. This costs, if you buy the tickets early, about $45. We bought it at the door for $75, so that's our mistake. That's Vegas for you. N6AJ.
Hey, I haven't been there too much lately since, like, my parents passed away, but what part of town is that in?
I don't know. I'd have to look on the map. It's very far away from the Strip. We took an Uber. Actually, we took a taxi, and it was almost a $35 taxi for the group of us. There was about 7 guys who had to take 2 separate vehicles. So it's quite a ways away from the Strip. But like I said, it's maybe a 3-hour plus experience just for this one. They have other things going on than just this art exhibit, and it's giant. So if you are in Vegas, I would recommend going with some friends and checking it out. But it is far away from the Strip.
Yep, that definitely bears further investigation. I'm about due for a trip there. Okay. Anyway, this is Bill, K6KRQ. We're at the halfway point now. I'm going to see if anybody else has come along. I should have asked earlier that would like to check in. We're missing like a couple of our regulars. Let's see if they might have come along. If so, come now. Oh, well, I thought I'd snare somebody on that one. Okay, let's see. It's Stuart's turn, N6DVM. So let's see what Stuart might have for us. If you're all queued up, go ahead and fire when ready, Stuart.
All right, I'm ready. It's PD-120, N6DVM.
Very good. I'm glad you sent this one again. I saw it on like the pre-net, and I was wondering what it was. I'm going to make first comment on this one. It looks like some kind of like lunar lander centrifuge or something. So in other words, I have no idea what it is. but the picture came out good. I didn't try the QR code yet, but I can't read what it says on the red lettering on the right side. So that's my comment. I'm dying to know what it is. I'm going to send it. George's way first this time. So let's hear what you got to say about it, George.
Right. Let me get in position here and take a better look. Yeah, I can't quite make out any of the text. And wish I could zoom in on this. Big heavy plates on the feet. Plates and magnets. And there's like in the middle there's it almost looks like it almost looks like a person slides into that, like that's a table like you'd see in an MRI machine. It comes out and then someone slides into it. So I'm trying to remember. I remember the early MRI machines. I forgot there was the guy who invented that one. Was out of the UK, wasn't it? No, this couldn't be that. This isn't an early MRI machine or imaging machine. It does. I don't see any X-rays. So I'm thinking it's some sort of. It is some sort of imaging machine. I'm almost positive. I keep getting drawn down to the feet for some reason. It must be heavy, because they're using those plates to distribute the weight across the floor, so it's not point loading the floor and to stabilize it. So, all right, I'm going to send it. Oh, by the way, the picture came over great. There's only a few pixel pops. There's only a few pixel pops in it. And yeah, this looks like there's coils around this thing, and copper tubing and so on. So for maybe cooling. All right, I'll send it back to that N6YG.
All right. Thanks for that, George. That's pretty good observation. You know what? I got the QR code works, but I'm not going to steal anybody's thunder. And because of what George said, and I don't know, it might be some kind of medical device. I'm sending it Carol's way, KP4MD, to see what she has to say about it. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. That little platform for somebody to lay down on and to be scooted into that tube is kind of a giveaway. But I'm not going to say anything more because the QR code also worked for me. Back to Nets, KP4MD.
You got anything to say about this before I send it to Stuart, Bill?
Yeah, I have no idea the size or scale of this. Like, at first I thought it was something on maybe someone's desk, but then at the same time it looks giant. So I have no idea the size of this thing. There are a lot of, it looks like coils, so I think an MRI machine is, that's a good guess, but I thought an MRI does more spinning around the subject than this probably looks like it could do. So I don't know. I thought originally because it was so isolated from the ground, maybe a seismograph, but they don't normally look like this either. So yeah, I'm interested to hear more. N6HA.
All right, Stuart, I hope it's not lost on you that we do not have any kind of shameless lack of ethics by scanning like the QR code and stealing your thunder. So go ahead and tell us what it is. I'm dying to know more about it too, and why you picked this one. Go for it.
First of all, you shouldn't feel ashamed about looking at the QR code. It's there for a reason. By the way, I'm losing my voice, so if I cut out, I apologize. George is exactly right. It's an MRI. It's the first clinical MRI machine developed at Aberdeen in Scotland. It was first used on about 1,000 patients between 1980 and 1983. I regret sending the illustration on the right because I know you can't read it. Apologize. I thought you might be able to, but once I had it rendered in Photoshop, I realized that. I'll just read it quickly. The top right description in the illustration says gradient coils to give spatial information. and then down on the right, the tuning box to tune in to signals coming from the patient. On the bottom, it's the radio frequency coil to collect signals from the patient. On the left, 4 magnetic coils to line up the water molecules in the patient, and the top are water pipes. This was developed by physicists at Aberdeen and also local plumbers who helped plumb it all together. It's on display, permanent display at the Study Art Space exhibit in Aberdeen, the Royal Infirmary in Scotland. I would love to see it. And again, this is part of, I have a fascination with old medical equipment. I used to collect surgical equipment from antique stores, and now I'm really interested in electronic gear from years past. So that's what it is, and you all did a great job. N6 DVN.
Comment.
Go ahead, George.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just pulled up the QR code, and I'd actually done a bunch of reading on the development of the MRI machine prior to this, when they were first developing it, and how everyone thought it was just a waste of time, and the original individuals who were investigating this didn't get a whole lot of support from the medical community, and it's actually based on astrophysics. The properties that the MRI machine works was originally and still is used in astrophysics. So anyhow, very interesting machine. I have never seen this before.
Thanks for that, George. You know what, Stuart? That is like one of the more interesting ones you've sent across to us. That's something else there. I did not have any clue of what it might be until George brought attention to the center of it, and then I looked at the QR code. So that's extremely interesting. Thanks for that. All right. I am going to take a turn and send one your guys' way and gal's way. Now, this is going to be Robot 36. Okay, so here it comes. Stand by. Let me try now. I got a warning about the size of my image. I changed it to Robot 72. Let's see what happens. It won't go. Stand by. I don't know what happened there. I had got a warning message about the image size. I forget what it said, but then it started to go. But I noticed on the robot modes, that was 72. It sure takes a while to register on YouTube, but it's just finishing now. That said, I'm going to start at the bottom. Let's go to Stuart and see what he's got to say about it and how you guys got the picture.
The picture came out great. My application, my Ionic application, has frozen, but I can see about 3/4 of it. I can't do anything with it. I have to close it out. Hang on. That was user error. I had another window open. Great image, a few pixel pops. I don't know where this is. I see, looks like it's maybe a Subaru traveling along the highway, Highway 158. I'm not sure, I can't read the sign. The mountains are gorgeous. Is this the Eastern Sierra somewhere? Beautiful image, love to know more about it. N6NA.
Very good. Let's move up to Bill, N6HA.
Yeah, great photo here. Very few pixel pops. I agree with Stuart. It looks like someone driving on Highway 158. Some beautiful mountains in the background and more of a deserty vibe, I guess, there. I don't know where this is or why you'd pull it over and take a photo of it other than the mountains. I don't know. I'm interested to find out more than when was this taken, N6HA?
Let's go to, well, I'll just ask George or Carol, you got any comments on it, and then I'll tell you about it.
I'll wait to hear.
Okay. Anyway, this is up on the June Lake Loop on the east side of the Sierra. Stuart was right. You know, you can, if remember the one I put up there about Manzanar, and you were, I had thought it would be a great place to go with your wife. You can go here too. It's on the way. But it's June Lake Loop, real nice place. I highly recommend it. I took this. This one's quite because that Subaru still got the stock rims on it. So it's probably, that's an '06 Outback. I still have it. So it's probably taken right after I moved here. About like we've been here 16 years. So yeah, it is. Bill's right. It is kind of the deserty vibe because it is high desert on that other side. But you're still about 7,000 feet above sea level. So highly recommended. You hear me say that a lot. I was going to save this for like the other guys like Alan and Joel know this area real good. I like to see if they can guess where these places are at. So anyway, that's it for that photo.
A comment.
Go ahead, Stuart.
So I know this area now that you described it. I've been there a few times. It's a beautiful part of California. I've been to Mono Lake a few times. My twin brother is a geologist, and in graduate school he did research out here in his Subaru, and we would go out on trips. I would tag along with his team doing research. He eventually did his graduate thesis in Yellowstone, West Yellowstone, Montana. But he did work out here, and I would go out with him as they collected rocks, and developed a really nice appreciation for the Eastern Sierra. So I'm glad you shared this. N6NA.
So you know, now that you mention that, if in the picture, like behind you, is Mono Lake, and that area there, and you mentioned like Yellowstone, there's some similarities. That's part of the Long Valley caldera. It's very like geologically active, highly interesting place. So if you others if you've not gone there, I really recommend it. It's gorgeous. But I never pass up a chance to give shameless plugs to the Eastern Sierra. So that's all I'll say about that. So we are about 10 minutes before the top of the hour. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to send? As I like to say, a burning desire. All right. In that case, I guess I'll close it up. We'll close it off early. You know, we didn't get any visitors to YouTube. At least nobody that got in on the chat, except for Stuart welcoming Carol back. And then Carol puts up some stuff, but we didn't have any visitors. So that said, is there any other comments or questions, or as I say, burning desires before I close it up?
I'll send a closing picture.
Oh, good. I was hoping you would. Go ahead. Man, you know what? That came through like really clear. This is K6KRQ. Hey, George, is like there anything special about Martin 1 or not really?
Yeah, Martin 1 just seems to work real good over the repeater, and I'm not actually sure why, but it does seem to be one of the better modes for repeater usage.
Yeah, that came through beautifully. It comes through really good on YouTube. Very good. You know what I was going to say, man? This net has become, to me anyway, like the net for the traveling egghead or the itinerant intellectual, if you will, between pictures of where some of us go and then some of the technology stuff. I love it. I hope we can like keep it up and attract more people. I'm going to keep on any chance I get. So that said, is there any more like comments? And then I'm going to close it up. All right, then. I want to thank all who participated in tonight's SSTV Net. Again, I really appreciate you guys like having me do it. I really enjoy it. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Hopefully we'll get our YouTube crowd back. Officially close this net at 9:53 p.m. This is Bill, K6KRQ, wishing all of you a good evening. 73.